Hey guys, it's Jenny here, and I am here to bring you my shame. It's also known as my July wrap-up. My July wrap-up is very, very pitiful. I read one book. One. Granted, I do have excuses. I had to work like every day of the week. So I had no time. I actually read this on my one day off. Yeah, my one day off. I read A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I loved it so much. It was a little bit slow, but in like the 7th chapter, I was completely hooked. But okay, since I'm going to be combining my wrap up and my TBR, let's try to move this along quickly. Oh, yeah, I have a very unrealistic TBR, but let's try it. I'm trying to knock off my reading list, and now that I quit one of my jobs, never go into fast food. Maybe I can pick up my reading again. So, this is very unrealistic, but these are mostly like the summery vibes books that I'm getting into, because I feel like all of my high fantasies I'll be able to get into like September, and when I go back to school it'll be really easy to get. The only reason I'm excited to go back to school is that I read better when I'm at school. So, okay, here we go. The first book I'm going to be finishing in August is Awake by Natasha Preston. I am already on page 55 of this. It's pretty good so far. I'm a bit confused, but I'm sure that the readers are supposed to be confused. Basically, Scarlett Garner doesn't, she has amnesia before, like, she doesn't remember anything before the age of 4, but a car accident that she was actually just in, I just read that part, changes that, and she starts to remember pieces of a past that frightened her, and a past that her parents may have hid from her, which contains a secret that could get her killed. So I'm, like, really excited to read this, and I'm finally now getting to it. My best friend Ashlyn, un momento. And I'm back. Where was I? Okay. So, the next book that I would be reading, let's do this one. The next book that I would like to get to is Confessions of Paris Mysteries by James Patterson. This is the 3rd book in the Confessions of a Murder Suspect series by James Patterson, and I can't tell you about this. But basically in the first book, a girl named Tandy Angel is trying to figure out who killed her parents, and it could be one of the 4 or 5 siblings that she has, and so all the police are trying to investigate them, and really good book. Really fast read because the chapters are so short. But then I would like to read Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I would like to read this one because it isn't like a series, so there isn't much that I have to continue. But basically a girl named Amy is, they move across country, and she's afraid to drive ever since her dad died in a car accident, I believe. So a boy named Roger goes with her to help her move. So yeah, then they obviously form a relationship. And I'm hoping that some contemporaries will get me back in my reading groove. So that's why there's so many contemporaries in this TBR. Okay, then I would like to read Confessions of a Hater by Caprice Crane. This is basically about a girl named Haley who's kind of like invisible, and then her dad gets a job and she moves, and then she ends up finding a book of things called How to Be a Hater in her sister's old things, which could transform her whole high school experience. So yeah, it sounded pretty good. Seems like a very easy read. So, and I know it doesn't have any sequels, so that's why I'm trying to pick all the ones that don't have sequels up. Well, except for Confessions has one last book, which is the conclusion to the whole series. But then I would like to read When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. Finally, I really want to read this so bad. Basically, Dimple has it all figured out. She's more than ready to... Okay, no, let me just... Dimple's and Rishi's parents want to arrange them in a marriage because, you know, they're Indian. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So they get arranged in marriage, and Dimple isn't having it, but Rishi wants to. He believes in all of that, and he wants to be arranged. But then they get sent to the same, I believe it's like computer robot programming, web developers. It's like a suburban program, and they end up attending the same camp, and obviously they, you know, spark romance, and their tradition ends up working out perfectly, I assume. But I can't wait to read this. Everybody has nothing but good things to say about this. So, then I will read To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is about a girl named Lara Jean who keeps a love letter for every boy that she's ever loved in a hat box, and then one day all of those letters get mailed out to said boys. And so I can imagine how difficult and complicated that would be. This is a trilogy, so there are 2 more books after this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy. So there are 2 books after this. But maybe I'll read those in September, who really knows. Then I will be reading Unhooked by Lisa Maxwell. I was trying to go in order from like contemporaries, the standalones, contemporaries to fantasy, so I'm pretty sure this is a standalone. I'm pretty sure. But if it's not, good thing it's at the end of the month. I would be reading Unhooked, which is a Peter Pan retelling. So yeah, all I'm gonna say about it is that it's a Peter Pan retelling, because I don't feel like trying to tell you the synopsis. All I know is that it's like nothing like the stories. It's really dark and twisty, kind of like Oz in the Dorothy Must Die series. It's nothing like it should be. So yes, this sounded very good. Can't wait to pick it up. And then finally for the month of August, August. Oh my god. I hope to get through Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I might actually pick this up in the beginning because I am already 33 pages into it. It's going really slow though. Basically all Feyre is doing is complaining right now, so I'm getting kind of annoyed. Which, you know, stems from my lack of wanting to read this book. Like, I don't want to read this because it's so big, and if Feyre's gonna complain through all of this, I'm just gonna get really annoyed. So the first book was great, but now she's just being stupid and complaining all the time. She's complaining about... Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. I almost just spoiled it. Okay, but yes, I will be reading this, which is the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is basically about Feyre killing a wolf in the woods, which turns out to be a fairy, and then being dragged to Prythian, which is the Fey realm, because the beast demands retribution for what she did to the wolf. Very, very good story. I recommend it highly. So, for the month of August, I will be trying to get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. Hopefully I will get to all of these, but if I don't, it won't be shocking at all, considering I only read 1 book in July. But given that I won't be working for the last 2 weeks, except for occasionally at my other job, that should help, and maybe I will get out of my book slump if I read one of these contemporaries, hopefully. But yes, thank you for watching, guys, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and of course leave a comment down below because I always love talking to you guys. And look forward to my book outlet unboxing, because yes, I ordered more books. And also my July haul, because I decided that I accumulated so many books this month that I can't really keep them straight, so I want to just put them all in a haul so that I can see just how many I did get, because I feel like it'll be, you know, really cool just to, you know, just see how many I accumulated all in one video. So yeah, I'll probably be filming that today after dinner. So yeah, I feel like it'll be cool just to see how much I accumulated just all in one like not all in one sitting, but like they'll all be just around me and it'll be just fun to see what I accumulated for the month of July. So without further ado,